She sits alone, staring out the window. The pretty blue eyes in a fiery gaze. She won't talk to anyone.
Hello, this is Rex from Recites. The video today is going to be concerned with a poem of Roald Dahl's, who writes a lot of children's poetry and is also famous for his short stories such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But today I'm going to do for you his version of Cinderella. And it goes like this. You think you know the story, but you don't. The real one's much more gory. The phony one, the one you know, was cooked up years and years ago and was made to sound all soppy and sappy just to keep the children happy. Mind you, they got the first bit right, the bit where, in the dead of night, the ugly sisters with jewels and all departed for the palace ball, and darling little Cinderella was locked up in a slimy cellar, where the rats, looking for things to eat, began to nibble at her feet. She bellowed, "Help!" and "Let me out!" The magic fairy heard the shout, and appearing in a blaze of light, she said, "My dear, are you all right?" "All right," said Cindy. "Don't you see I'm feeling as rotten as can be?" She beat her fist against the wall and said, "Get me to the ball. There's a disco at the palace. The rest have gone, and I am jealous. I want a dress. I want a coach, and earrings, and a diamond brooch, and silver slippers, 2 of those, and lovely nylon pantyhose. Done up like that, I'll guarantee the handsome prince will fall for me." The fairy said, "Hang on a tick." She gave her wand a mighty flick, and quickly, in no time at all, Cindy was at the palace ball. It made the ugly sisters wince to see her dancing with the prince. She held him tight and pressed herself against his manly chest. The prince himself was turned to pulp. All he could do was gasp and gulp. Then midnight struck, and Cindy cried, "Heck! I've got to run to save my neck." The prince screamed no, alas, alack, and grabbed her dress to hold her back. As Cindy cried, "Let me go," her dress was ripped from head to toe. She ran out in her underwear and lost one slipper on the stair. The prince was on it like a dart. He held it to his pounding heart. "The girl this slipper fits," he cried, "shall tomorrow morn be my bride. I'll visit every house in town until I've tracked the maiden down." Then, rather carelessly I fear, he left it on a crate of beer. At once, one of the ugly sisters, the one whose face was blotched with blisters, crept down and grabbed a dainty shoe and quickly flushed it down the loo. Then in its place she calmly put the slipper from her own left foot. Aha, you see, the plot grows thicker, and Cindy's luck starts looking sicker. Next day the prince went charging down to knock on all the doors in town. In every house the tension grew. Who was the owner of the shoe? The shoe was long and very wide. A normal foot got lost inside. Dozens of women came to try it on, but all in vain. Then came the ugly sisters go. One put it on, the prince screamed no, but she screamed, yes, it fits, whoopee, now you've got to marry me. The prince went white from ear to ear and said, get me out of here. She screamed, no, you cannot go, you made a vow, and you can't back out now. Off with her head, the prince roared back. They chopped it off with one big whack. This pleased the prince, who said, she looks prettier without her head. Then up came sister number 2 and said, now I will try the shoe. Try this instead, the prince yelled back. He swung his trusty sword and smack, her head went crashing to the ground. It bounced a bit and rolled around. In the kitchen, peeling spuds, Cinderella heard the thuds of bouncing heads upon the floor, and she poked her head around the door. What's all the racket? Cindy said. Mind your own biz, the prince replied. Cindy's heart was torn to shreds. My prince, she thought, he chops off heads. How can I marry anyone who does this sort of thing for fun? The prince cried, who's this dirty slut? Off with her nut, off with her nut. Just then, all in a blaze of light, the magic fairy hove in sight. Her magic wand went swoosh and swish. Cindy, she cried, come make a wish and have no doubt that I will make it come about. Cindy answered, thank you, O kind fairy. This time I shall be more wary. No more princes, no more money. I've had my taste of honey. I'm wishing for a decent man. They're hard to find. Do you think you can? Within a minute, Cindy was married to a lovely fella, a jam maker by trade, who sold good homemade marmalade. Their house was filled with smiles and laughter, and they lived happy ever after. This is Rex for Rex Recites. We thank Roald Dhal for his version of Cinderella. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so below. Thank you.
She won't talk to anyone. She's been sitting there for days. All the lies her mother told her about a prince who